know that you guys might have some issues with the proposed ordinance, the proposed changes to the ordinance, and so we just kind of wanted to have a conversation and just, I mean, because we want it to be safe, you know, we want it to be professional. I feel like we want the same things, you know. So I just wanted to sort of extend that to you guys and give you our position. I mean, I don't know if you is there anything in particular that we can do to try to make it make your guys' job easier or make it better for you guys?
Really, I guess the biggest issue is just, you know, obey the law. You know, I'm sure, you know, the ordinances have been put in place, you know, I guess, you know, govern what's required of your pedicabs and where you're able to ride and drive and it essentially that you know, obey those laws. You know, because those laws are there obviously to protect, you know, the folks who ride the pedicabs, the people who patronize, who ride, you know, along with y'all, and I guess just keep order in the downtown.
Sure.
And that's essentially it, you know. And I know we've had, you know, I know we've written numerous. I wouldn't say numerous, but I know we've written the pedicab citations. We write taxi cab citations. We write the buses citations. And you know, whatever new avenues the city opens up, you know, we monitor it. You know, we enforce it. You know, and it's all for the benefit of, you know, and safety of the folks who visit downtown and kind of keep order, you know, downtown.
Absolutely.
I know situations develop, and I know one of the things, you know, and I know, you know, y'all are trying to open up, I guess, things for pedicabs, but lots of times, what's been our experience when the city opens something up and it doesn't work out, then we're called to fix it.
I see.
And that's one of the issues, and I can point out a good example. One of the things the city did was they opened up things for the buses, you know, here in Alamo Plaza. And guess what? They had to change it. They had to go back to the way things were. And now we're cleaning up the problem.
Sure.
And we're the bad guys. So that's one of our concerns, that whenever the city opens something up and they said, "Oops, shouldn't have done it."
Sure.
Now we got to take it away. Yeah. And guess what? The folks who were allowed to do this, guess what? They still want to do it. Yeah. Right. They were allowed to do it.
Sure. But
then the city pulls it out. And guess what happens? Who's having to enforce it?
Right. You guys.
Yeah. And where are we? Stuck in the middle.
Sure.
You're talking about the trolleys that come down Alamo?
Correct. Yeah, that's one of the situations I'm talking about.
Sure.
And right now we're deep in the middle of that because the city said, "Hey, y'all can do this, y'all can do that." And then after looking at it, we decide, "Oh, we shouldn't have let y'all do it. We can't do it anymore." But y'all, and guess who has to enforce it? So that's why we're kind of always kind of trying to stay on top of, you know, when the city wants to do something, hey, maybe you need to look at this. Maybe you shouldn't do this because of this.
Well, is there anything specific? I mean, are you familiar with the proposed changes to the?
Well, one of the proposals would open up this downtown streets, y'all. Commerce is a big problem without pedicabs on it, and I think that's one of the things that they want to do is allow pedicabs on the Commerce Street, which no. Yeah, it's already a problematic on nights, on weekends. Yeah. You know, you were there, John, weren't you?
Well, the pedicabs I don't think has been reintroduced downtown, but I can tell you just from working nights. And the level of intoxication out here and everything, it's a safety issue for you guys. You know, not to mention, like you said, the people patronizing your service.
Sure.
And that's the big concern. It's not like no one's anti-pedicab. It's just, I mean, it gets dicey out here. Yeah. I mean, I've nearly been hit numerous times. I've seen cars smashed in. I've seen motorcycles, riders killed out here. You know, and that's the big thing.
You know, right now things, you know, seem to be working. I know the other folks of the horse carriages, you know, they're the other folks who, you know, we try and keep them on side streets to keep traffic moving because, you know, once traffic becomes messed up or becomes a situation, and then you throw in the additional either horse carriages or pedicabs, you know, it just makes our job a lot harder.
Right.
If I may, we're taking steps to self-regulate already, so we're trying to increase our visibility by adding reflective tape.
Yeah, we're going to start wearing like orange reflective safety vests, you know.
And
I mean, they are surprisingly agile. I mean, compared to a horse carriage, you know.
Yeah. And
really able to get in and out of people's way a lot. But I mean, is there anything else?
Well, if I could just continue, we're like I said, we're starting to self-regulate, and it's not just a matter of the vests and whatnot. We're familiar just crossing over and seeing everything on the major arteries, how busy they can be, and we're of course we want to use those streets, but we're not going to use them if it's a risk to our safety and more importantly the rider's safety.
Is there any kind of way where it could work for both of us? I mean, because our concern is not being able to serve the businesses along those roads, because if somebody says like, oh, I want to go to my hotel,
Like a contestant, for example.
yeah, the contestants, like, well, I have to say, well, I can't take you to your hotel. I can just take you closer to your hotel than you are now, you know. Or a lot of times it requires us to sort of take a real circuitous route to get to a place that we're able to go to, but the most direct route would be to get on some of these major thoroughfares.
And if we were on the thoroughfares, we have no intention of using them for the entire length of the street. It would just be like there,
I mean, because
that one block, and then get
you're
off.
absolutely right. It's daunting to be sitting at that light and watching 3 and 4 lanes of traffic like tearing through there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from, but is there?
Most of us
And
would
it
avoid
really,
it.
you know, I wish I could speak more direct to, I guess, the issues, but the supervisors who are kind of more in tune are the officers, the sergeants, the officers who work our later shift. I work a daylight shift, and of course they send me reports, and I read the reports they send me, and I kind of have an idea, but I can't speak directly to the issues that,
Yep.
you know, the issues you all face on the evenings, and I guess my officers see, you know, the evening shift, specifically my supervisors. And they have, I guess, you know, specifically when we first learned, and one of the things I guess that kind of, it bothered one of my supervisors quite a bit, is that we weren't even brought into this. It was just going to be kind of, you know, it seemed to us like it was snuck in. And once it was kind of...
Well, we were going through the only channels that we knew.
Right. And it wasn't, I'm not saying it was you all either.
I mean, that's
yeah,
why we're
yeah.
coming here now,
Yeah.
you know, because we don't want to give that impression, because we were sort of told that like it was the Transportation Advisory Board were the first people to talk to, and they of course
And that's...
have a liaison with the tab, and so
Right,
like I was
right.
going to subcommittee meetings, like trying to voice my thoughts on the issue, on what they needed to write, and they were even kind of, some of the people who were really pinning it, like didn't really know what they were talking about, or didn't have the same insight and experience that I would, or even that some of your officers would have.
Right.
Now, what I was led to believe was that part of the rules and regulations, because right now the pedicab ordinance is just a city ordinance, and the taxi cabs have an ordinance and also a rules and regulations, which, to my understanding, is sort of controlled by the chief of police. And so the rules and regulations that we got drafted, my understanding was those came from somebody in the police department. Now, I have no idea which department or from where it came from.
I didn't even have trouble. I'd probably find out eventually, but
Sure.
yeah, take some digging.
Yeah, I mean, it's a multifaceted problem, certainly.